Hi, good evening. Welcome to Bedtime Bible Stories, where I tell you stories from the Bible at bedtime. Right now, we are on the Old Testament, haha, which is an emotional ass fucking story. I have to tell you, the story of Jesus. It is totally emotional, and we are gonna smoke our way through it. It's gonna be a time. Anyway, did you take your pills? Look, double check. We need that medicine because we need to stay alive to keep other people alive. Ah, because that's what we gotta do for the greater good, man. Ah, anyway, listen, me and Capital G, we got a new co host. We have, my dad wanted to name him Jimmy, but I was thinking Disco Dave, the dead guy. So, this is our new co host, right? So, that's what we're doing. Anyway, did you pack a bowl? Well, if you don't have a bowl, I have some up here. I think the Mother's Day Bowl and the Blue Bowl are both packed. We have our Super Skull Bic lighter, right? And we got a tray full of weed. So, we got some cigarettes over here. Grab your cigarettes. Then get comfy. Make sure you have your bedtime beverage, your nightly reward for keeping other people alive. Make sure you have your coffee stirring dick on a stick. Did I tell you I showed this to my dad? He was so impressed. I roll. Anyway, yet Dustin doesn't find it as amusing as I do. But apparently, these are chopsticks. It's like, meh. I like it as a coffee stir. Anyway, enough of that. Let's smoke it, drink it, and read it. What do you think? Okay. I have my notebook to write down shit that seems like it might be important. See, I'm not very good at taking notes, so I just wrote shit down. So, I don't know. But I told you what I wanted to write down. So, or what I was writing down. Things that don't line up with other things. Anyway, we are on Matthew chapter 25. So, let's read it. He's still comparing the kingdom of heaven to things, okay? So, the kingdom of heaven will be like this, okay? 10 bridesmaids took their lamps and went to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish, and 5 were wise. When the foolish took their lamps, they took no oil, but the wise took flasks of oil with their lamps. As the bridegroom was delayed, all of them became drowsy and slept. But midnight there was a shout, "Look, he's here, the bridegroom. Come to meet him." Then all the bridesmaids got up, trimmed their lamps. The foolish said to the wise, "Can you give us some of your oil? For our lamps are going out." But the wise replied, no, there will not be enough. You better go to the dealers and buy some for yourselves. And while they went to buy it, the bridegroom came. And those who were ready went with him into the wedding banquet, and the door was shut. And the other bridesmaids lost the bachelor. Hashtag JK. Later, the other bridesmaids came also, saying, Yo, dude, hey, we're here. We needed to get a lamp. Like, it was a whole thing. And dude was like, I don't know you. Don't make me embarrass you. Just go. Right. Stay ready, for you know neither the day nor the hour. For it is as if a man going on a journey summoned his slaves and entrusted his property to them. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and another 1. So each according to his ability. Then he went his way. People say this is socialist, okay? I want to say, doesn't this mean like if you do a harder thing, you get paid more? Right? So if you don't do a harder thing, you don't get paid more. Isn't that capitalist? Just saying. That seems very capitalistic. But then again, I don't know what things mean. So if you know what it means, tell me. Okay? But not in a mean way. Don't be rude. Just tell me nicely if that's what that means. The one who had received the 5 talents went off at once and traded with them and made 5 more talents. In the same way, the one who had the 2 talents made 2 more talents. But the one who had received just the 1 went off and dug a hole in the ground and hid his master's money. After a long time, the master of those slaves came and settled accounts with them. Then the one who had received the 5 came forward, bringing 5 more talents, saying, You handed me 5, I have made 10. And the dude was like, Good job, yes, okay. So, you've done a good job. Here's some more responsibility. Do a good job. And the one with the 2 talents also came, saying, You gave me 2, and I've made 4. I did a good job. And the master was like, Fuck yeah, you did a good job, dude. Hell yeah. Here's some more responsibility. Good luck. Do a good job. Do a good job. Okay. Then the one who had received the 1 talent also came, saying, Master, I knew you were a harsh man, reaping where you did not sow, gathering where you did not scatter seed. I was afraid, and I went and hid your talent in the ground, where you have what is yours. But his master replied, You fat, sloppy son of a bitch! Listen, that's right, ain't it, Disco Dave, that guy? Yeah, listen, you died for less, didn't you? I bet you did. Okay, so he's like, you're kind of fucked up. But, like, what the guy say, though? You're like, so hold on. He's like, I knew you were fucked up and you were doing shit you shouldn't be doing. So I went and hid your money so you have it. And then dude was like, you fat sloppy son of a bitch, you knew. So you knew I was doing bad, comma. See, I don't exactly know. This is a retarded sentence and I don't like it. You knew that I reap where I did not sow and gather where. Oh, you knew, did you? Like, you knew that I didn't do, that I did this shit, right? Then, like, you should have made me more money, right? And then I would have had my own money because I'd have been laundering it. So, like, why did you just hide my money? It won't do you no, it won't do me no good laying in the ground. That is such a fucking gangster thing though. But if dude thinks about it, long term, it might have done him some good. I mean, if you're thinking long term, like, oh yeah, I got that money buried, that's right. Okay. So, take the one talent and give it to the one with 10. For those who have, more will be given, and they will have an abundance. But from those who have nothing, even what they have will be taken away. Yeah, but what though? What is an adjective that you put there? I don't know if adjective is the right word, but I'm sure it might be, right? Wisdom, knowledge, love, understanding. One of those. Which one is it? Or is it all of them? And it would be like universal shit, right? So if you have this, you'll have more, right? But if, like, you're just shit, then, like, see, I don't understand this magical Jesus word magic. It's like, I'm pretty smart, even though I'm retarded, I'm pretty smart, right? And I don't understand. I didn't understand it the first time, and somebody probably told me, but I don't remember it this time. Okay. So, as for this worthless slave, throw him into the outer darkness, where there will be weeping, wailing, and gnashing of teeth. Listen, isn't this like the thing that was in the Old Testament? I don't remember what it said, but there is the pit. Isn't that the pit where it's just nothing but pit and everybody's like fucking crying and miserable? Anyway, when the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, He will sit on the throne of his glory. All the nations will be gathered, and he will separate people one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. Okay, those are not the same thing. Goats are supposed to be considered bad. Okay, so they're separating good from bad. But side note, have you ever had Gus and rice with pita bread with some ranch? Right? Oh, muy. Yeah, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. I could eat that for the rest of my life. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, if you ever get around an Arabic restaurant, ask them if they have Gus and rice. That's goat. So good. Anyway. So he's separating good from evil, right? And he will put the sheep at his right hand and the goats at his left. Look, God's gathering the evil too. So the pit is gonna, like, okay, anyway. The point is, he's putting the ones he chooses as good on his right hand. So, like, you're God's right hand man. Listen, that's pretty good. Then the king will say to those at his right hand, "Come, you that are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world." Look, God already bought you land. Don't even worry. I got you. Okay. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. I was sick, and you took care of me. I was in prison, and you visited me. Oh, this is one of the best presents you can give a prisoner. If you know somebody in prison, visit them. Buy them commissary sometimes, but you should visit them for sure. That shit's important. And send them letters. Listen, I was in prison. Like, the best thing was getting letters. Nobody could visit me because I was in prison way out of state in Pennsylvania. I was in prison in Pennsylvania. I couldn't get no visitors, but letters were very important. Anyway, the point is, if you know somebody in prison, you should visit them. It's important. And, don't give them personal info or anything like that. Just ask them what they're doing and how are they in jail and what kind of things are they working on, things like that. Don't ever talk about yourself. Okay. And then the righteous will answer him. None of that happened. Like, zero of that happened. Like, you were never naked. Okay. We're not there yet. Okay. no naked zombie Jesus yet. That did not happen. And when the hell were you sick? And when were you in jail? That doesn't even happen to you. No, yes, it does at the end, doesn't it? Isn't he put in prison? No, he's not put in prison. See, that never happens, dude. And then he'll say, I'm telling you, listen, just as you did to one of the least of these people, you did for me. This is my family, right? Then he will say to those at his left hand, okay, the ones in the pit, he'll say, you that are accursed, depart from me into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. Okay, so you don't go to hell until you're in the pit. So there's a stop before you even go to hell. So when people are like, when I'm in hell, it's going to be great. But no. Because, you know what? And that makes sense, though, too. Remember, because it said in the Old Testament, God doesn't see in the darkness. God doesn't see the darkness. It's only when you are completely done for and you get that little bit of light. God is attracted to that light. So you being trapped in that eternal pit, right, must be why everybody's weeping and wailing, because there is no hope of God. I think we just fucking figured it out. Digital high five. Yeah, God, did we figure it out? Spiritual high five. Fuck yeah, we did such a good job just now. We literally just figured it out. Oh my god, we just figured it out. Yeah. Oh man, listen. And these people that are in this pit, the only light they're gonna see after a long time is a fucking fire. And in God's time seems to be, I don't know, a little bit slow maybe. Because he says a lot. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, so never mind I said that. Scratch it from the record. Anyway. Let's continue with the story. For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me nothing to drink, not even piss. I was a stranger, and you did not welcome me. Naked, and you did not give me clothes. Sick, and in prison, and you did not visit me. Then they will say, when the fuck did this happen? This did not happen. No, didn't happen. And then he's gonna say, the king will say, I'm telling you, you didn't do this for the least of these people, right? So you did not do it for me. And these will go away into eternal punishment. But the righteous into eternal life. Listen, when we just figured that out over there, okay, we just figured that out, right? And when God said he's going to separate the sheep and the goats, right? When somebody calls you a sheep, that means that you're God's right hand man. So, like, okay, I'll be a sheep, right? Because that means I'm God's right hand man. And maybe he'll have you making YouTube videos promoting Nikki K the Great, your personal pretend prophet. Oh, I'm just kidding. I do a good job, but somebody else should help me do a good job. You know, don't forget to like and subscribe. Anyway, I'm about to press pause right now and move on to chapter 26. So, right here, go ahead and pause so you can pack one of my bowls or roll a joint. There are also bowls back here. There are some bowls, but they're little one hitters, tiny. They're tiny little pipes. Hold on, I'll show you. Tiny little pipe. I don't want to break it, but it's like a tiny little pipe. It'll like give you one hit. Then I got that silicone one. It tastes really funny. Anyway, go grab you a cup of coffee and smoke a cigarette and roll a joint. I will be right here when you get back. Please don't forget to press like. I love you and I will be right back. All right, so chapter 26. So we figured a lot out, right? I'm going to have to watch this video again. Sometimes I watch, oh shit. Sometimes I watch my videos just to remember what I said, you know, because sometimes I say some shit, man. Oh, Nikki. I know this website has a bunch of typos, but you need a coupon. Okay. When Jesus had finished saying all these things, he said to his disciples, "You know that after 2 days the Passover is coming, and the Son of Man will be handed over to be crucified." And Passover is April, what is it, April 15th, right? Jesus died during Passover. What, the last day? The last day of Passover. So we know what day he died, and we kind of guess at what day he was born. There's a Muslim guy that says Jesus died on the same day he was born. And judging by what this says, I do not believe that to be true. Okay. So after 2 days, the Passover is coming. Okay, this is 2 days before Passover. Okay, 2 days before Passover. Hey, Nikki. Nikkie, coupon. I don't need a coupon. Okay. Then the chief priests and the elders of the people gathered in the palace of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas, and they conspired to arrest Jesus by stealth and kill him. What's up? Okay. But they said, no, not during the festival, because people will go insane. Now, while Jesus was at Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, a woman came to him with an alabaster jar of very costly ointment, and she poured it on his head as he sat at the table. But the disciples saw it and were angry, and they was like, "The hell? What are you doing? This ointment, it could have been sold for the poor. How much do you want to bet?" They said that only because Jesus was there. But Jesus was like, "Why do you trouble this woman? She has performed a good service for me. There will always be poor, but you will not always have me. By pouring this ointment on my body, she has prepared me for burial." And I'm sure they was like, "Oh, with this shit again. This guy." Okay. Truly, I'm telling you, wherever this good news is proclaimed in the whole world, what she has done will be told in remembrance of her, but nobody knows her name. Then one of the 12, who was called Judas. Okay, this. Okay, now the 12, who was called Judas, went to the chief priest and said, "How much money are you gonna give me?" And they was like, 30 pieces of silver. And from that moment, he began to look for an opportunity to betray him. On the first day of Passover, the disciples came to Jesus saying, "What do you want to eat?" And he said, "Go to the city to a certain man and say to him, 'Listen, it's almost time. I'm going to keep the Passover here.'" So the disciples did as Jesus had directed them, and they prepared the Passover. When it was evening, he took his place with the 12. And while they were entering, he said, "I'm telling you, one of you will betray me." And they was like, "No, I don't think so. It's not me." And he was like, "The one who has dipped his hand in the bowl with me will betray me." Everybody watch, right? The Son of Man goes as it is written of him. Woe to that Woe to I woe to whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would have been better that he had not been born. 'Cause fuck that guy. That guy sucks. Judas, who betrayed him, said, "It's not me, right?" So this is like when a crackhead steals something and then helps you search for it. I swear. Listen, just like that. And Jesus was like, "You said it." While they were eating, Jesus took a loaf of bread, and after being like, "God is good, God is great. Holy, holy cow, I love this plate." No, that's not what he said. That's not what he said. So he gave it to the disciples and said, "This is my body." Then he took a cup, and after being like, "Hey, yo, big guy, good shit," right? He gave it to them and he said, "You guys get to drink from it, it'll be fun." Right? Because it's my blood, it's gonna be great. Anyway, this is my covenant, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins. I tell you, I will never again drink of this fruit of the vine until that day I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. When they had sung the hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives. What hymn, though? They have all these songs, but they don't tell you what song it is. Then Jesus said, "You will all become deserters because of me this night. For it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep will be scattered." Okay, wait a minute. I'm going to tell you. After I am raised up, I will go ahead of you to Galilee. And Peter was like, "Though I'll become deserters because of you, I will never desert you." Oh, you. I don't like Peter. And Jesus is like, "I'm telling you, before the cock even crows for 6 in the morning, you're going to act like you don't know me 3 times." And that's what I'm saying. Is Jesus breaking his own rule for Peter? Because if you deny Jesus, he doesn't know you anymore. Right? So, like, Peter's probably not in heaven and he's probably not a saint. And then Peter was like, I'll die with you. I'm not denying you. And everybody did. And I'm sure Jesus was like, "You motherfuckers, stop with the lying." And then Jesus went with them to a place called Gethsemane and said to his disciples, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." And he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee. Those are James and John, which I think in another story they're called Sons of Thunder. And he was like, sit here and I'm gonna go pray. And he began to be grieved and agitated. Hold on, he took with him Peter and James and John and began to be grieved and agitated. Then he said to them, I am deeply grieved, even to death. Remain here. Stay awake. Never get ready, stay ready. I'm going a little farther. And he threw himself on the ground and prayed. We gotta read this a bunch of times, by the way. Okay. Okay. He said, Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me, yet not what I want, but what you want. Then he came to the disciples and found them sleeping. It says sleeping. And I don't know what just happened. Do you know what happened? Oh my God, I don't know what happened. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. And he was like, y'all are sleeping. You couldn't even an hour. I probably wasn't even gone 5 fucking minutes. You guys. Yeah, you guys. Ugh. Stay awake so that you may not come into the time of trial. The spirit is indeed willing, but the flesh is weak. Again, he went away for the second time and prayed, My Father, if this cup cannot pass unless I drink it, your will be done. Again he came and found them sleeping, for their eyes were heavy. So leaving them again, he went and prayed for the third time, saying the same words. When he came to the disciples, and he was like, Are you still sleeping? Are you resting? Right? It's coming. It's almost here. And the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Get up. We gotta go. Look, he's coming. While he was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, arrived with him. No. Okay. So Judas arrived, and a large crowd with swords and clubs were with him, from the chief of priests and the elders of the people. Now the betrayer had given them a sign, saying, The one I will kiss is the man. Arrest him. Since at once he came up to Jesus and says, Greeting, Rabbi, and kissed him. Jesus said, Do what you're gonna do. Then they came and laid hands on Jesus and arrested him. Suddenly, one of those with Jesus put his hand on the sword, drew it, and struck the slave of the high priest, cutting off his ear. Then Jesus was like, Put that shit down. What do you do? What do you do? Right? And he said, do you not think I could solve this if I wanted to? I'm about to go. Don't even worry about it. But look, we got to do this to fulfill scriptures. At that hour, Jesus said to the crowd, like, you act like I did something bad. I saved all of you. Listen, why the hell are you even arresting me? But all this had taken place, so the scriptures of the prophets may be fulfilled. Then all the disciples deserted him and fled. Those who had arrested Jesus took him to Caiaphas, the high priest, in whose house the scribes and the elders had gathered. But Peter was following him at a distance, as far as the courtyard of the high priest, and going inside, he sat with the guards in order to see how this would end. Okay, so Peter was going, listen. Now the chief priests and the whole council were looking for false testimony against Jesus so they might put him to death. But they found none, though many false witnesses came forward. At last, two came forward and said, this fellow, or no, this fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of God and build it in 3 days. Then the high priest stood up and said, have you no answer? Look at what they're saying. And Jesus didn't say shit. Yeah, let your lawyer handle it. I'm just kidding. The high priest said, I put you under oath before the living God. Tell us if you are the Messiah. Really, your rules tell you he's the Messiah. But you would actually have to read your book to know that. But okay. And Jesus said, you said it. But I'm telling you, from now on, when you see me seated at the right hand of power and coming on the clouds of heaven. Oh, from now on, oh yes. You said that, but I'm telling you, from now on, okay. Then the high priest ripped his clothes off and said, he's blasphemed. Why do we still need witnesses? You have now heard his blasphemy. What is your verdict? And they was like, he deserves the bad thing. Then they spat in his face, struck him, and some slapped him. Saying, prophesy to us, you Messiah. Who is it that struck you? Now, Peter was sitting outside in the courtyard. A servant girl came to him and said, you're with Jesus from Galilee, aren't you? You know that guy. And he was like, I don't know that guy. This guy. I don't know this guy. I don't know. When he went out to the porch, another one saw him and she was like, hey, this guy, I know this guy. And he was like, no, that guy. I don't know that guy. Right? And then he was like, nah. After a little while, the bystanders came up and was like, yo, you do know that guy because you talk nice. And he was like, no, I don't know what you said. I don't know what you said. I don't know that guy. And then it was like, cock was crowing. And then Peter remembered what Jesus had said. Before the cock crows, you will deny me 3 times. And then he went out and wept bitterly, like he was crying like a motherfucker. Anyway, I think that was the end of it. No, that was definitely the end of it. I talk way too fucking much. So, thank you for indulging my awesomeness. I totally appreciate it. So, make sure you took your pills. You know, finish your reward. Then get in your pajamas or whatever you're wearing to bed. And give your pillow some head and your sheets some ass. And have the sweetest dreams ever.